My name's Alan Hart and today I'm going to do a Combi boiler review. The review I'm going to do today is on the Ideal Logic Max range of boilers. I bought this boiler with my own money. I bought it from City Plumbing in Leeds and I'm going to unbox it. We'll have a look inside it. We'll see what you get with the Ideal Logic Max, and then I'm going to give you my opinion and do a review on it. I'm going to install it on wall here, so I'll take some of these boilers off. We'll install it on the wall. I'm then going to pipe it up. I'm going to get it so it'll work, and I'm going to strip it down inside and just have a look at the clock on the front, and yeah, just generally do what I do with boilers, strip them all down and mess about with them really. So yeah, let's have a look at it now. Before I open the box on this, it comes with a 10-year parts and labour warranty. Obviously you need to make sure you have the boiler serviced, installed correctly to start with. It also comes with the system filter in this box. So let's open this up now. Please make sure you add a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you've installed any of these boilers, if you're a gas engineer or a plumber. Yeah, just add your comments below. So let's have a look inside, see what you get in there. I used to install quite a lot of Ideal Logic, and one thing I will say with an Ideal Logic, everything about it is easy to do. Instructions at top, it comes in a 24, a 30 and a 35 kilowatt boiler. So depending on your cold water flow rate in your house, that's how you would choose which size boiler you required. Also, it may be that your gas, you might have to decide because of the gas supply if you're not able to update the gas as well. So there's different things to take into consideration with that. So with this, I've removed the straps. Just lift that up there. That's template. So that's what we put on the wall, so we know where to put the screws for the bracket to put on the wall, so you can hang it on the wall. We've got this ERP label, so that's what we'd stick on side of boiler or in instructions or whatever when you're finished. In there comes with the bracket. So that's the fixing bracket. We'll use that in a few minutes and I'll put it onto the wall. The PRV, I don't know if you've seen my Ideal Vogue, how to service an Ideal Vogue video, but that's what it comes with that, same as that. I like them, it's good that they come with them in boxes. Comes with system filter, so this is the Ideal system filter. In my opinion, these filters are very, very good. It's the Amiga filter and it's just coloured and labelled Ideal. So it's just been branded to an Ideal filter, but it's just an Amiga filter really. So that's the Fernox Amiga filter. And we've got this hardware pack. So let's have a look at the boiler. If I were going to install this in a customer's house, I'd see where the flue was going first, and say the flue were going here and there was no hole, so it was a new installation. I'd do the hole for the flue first. What you don't want to do is put your nice new boiler on the wall and then get all your brick dust and mess on top of the boiler. Also, this jig or this template comes with all the holes where you need them to go. So what I used to do when I used to install Logics every day really, this cardboard template I think is really good. It shows you where all your pipes are as well, so you can get all your pipes in place if you wanted. So what I used to do is if it were going on a wall like this, flat wall, I'd connect my template onto the wall. I'd cut these out with Stanley knife, and then I'd just draw lines up wall, and then I'd fix my my bracket onto that. So I'll do that now. As I say in all my videos, please remember you must be gas safe registered to install central heating boilers and gas boilers or gas appliances. It's not worth it trying to do it yourself as DIY. One, you will not get the warranty, and also once you've had the boiler installed, you need to keep the warranty, you need to have it serviced every year, and again you need that done by a gas safe registered engineer. So as I say, always get a gas safe registered engineer to install your boiler. If it's going to be an Ideal boiler, to be honest with you, I would go on Ideal website and get an Ideal approved installer. I'm no longer on the Ideal approved installer list because I don't really install Ideal boilers anymore. So yeah, so I'll just have a look on Ideal installer list. I've just marked on my bracket, and now I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put the bracket on. Other people will do it different ways, but this is just what I do. One thing, well, I point out on my Vogue, on servicing a Vogue, that's how the flow should be. So sometimes people have white onshore on the outside, and that's not allowed. In the hardware kit that you get with the boiler, you get some screws to fix it as well. Personally, I'd use these screws, but also use some extra screws. That's the way I do it. You don't have to do that. You can probably just use their screws. But if you did get a bad fixing and you didn't really know, I've seen boilers in the past that's come away from the wall. So one thing for sure, that is the most important part. You need to make sure the boiler's going to stay on the wall. So I'm not trying to tell you to suck eggs there, but yeah. I've got all my screws in now. I've levelled the bracket up, and now I'm just going to put the boiler on the wall. I'm going to lift this Ideal Logic Max Combi boiler onto the wall now. One thing just to check with this is this seal here. Sometimes these seals come out, especially if you put the flue elbow in and then you take your flue elbow out. So say you were marking your flue, so just make sure you've put this back in correctly once you've finished. These are quite easy to lift on. If you have a look there, you'll see there's some little grooves. So this is the back of the boiler now, and then on the boiler, on the bracket on the wall, they're smaller and then it goes bigger, so it sort of like locks it into place. And it's got a little lip there. I don't know if you can see that, it's a bit awkward to see, but it's got a little lip there which stops the boiler coming back off after it's clipped in. One thing that gets asked quite a lot is, can you put boilers onto a wooden backing? And you'd have to check the installation instructions of the boiler, but what I'd say is most boilers nowadays you can put them onto wood, and I tend to put wood behind a lot of mine just to tidy it up and make it a better install really. So these, as I say with these, they're quite light to put on. We've got the boiler on the wall now. We just pull the front flap down. Comes with the user guide in there. Don't know if you can see that. Pressure gauge. So pressure gauge is now on the front, which is obviously a lot better than it used to be. It used to be down underneath the boiler, which are a little bit hard to get into. You've got your hot water temperature there. So if you wanted to turn the hot water up and down, you can do that on the front. We've got a display here, which we'll have a look at that shortly once I've connected it in and connected it onto electric. We've got the control for the temperature of the central heating as well there, and then we've got the control on here, the selector, and that turn the boiler off you can turn it to hot water only on here, and then you can turn it to hot water and heating. I like the front of this. I think it's really good. What I'm going to do now is, before we do all piping it up or out like that, I'm going to take case off, and then what we'll do, we'll have a look inside. So do that now. To remove the case on these, it's very much like the Vogue. So you've got 2 screws, just undo the 2 screws, and then we've got 2 clips, one here and one here, and it just comes off nice and easy, and then just lifts off. That's how you take the case off. So let's have a look inside now. The Logic range of boilers is now 10 years old, and they seem to have come on a long way in 10 years. They've improved these boilers quite a lot. Just a few of the benefits of this boiler: the Schrader valve for the expansion vessel on the front, which is really easy to get to. It's got plastic or composite components inside now. I've never been a lover of composite parts, as a lot of you that do watch my videos will know. If I'm honest with you, on the Logic, on the brass components on the Logic, they did have a few issues with things leaking, and these plastic components, these were in the original, I think it was the Esprit or something like that, so they've been around now for about 8 or 9 years, and I've never been to a faulty one, and that's the truth. So if they probably are more reliable now, if I'm honest. But yeah, I still like to see brass and copper and stainless steel in products, but I don't think that these have the issues that some of the others, some other manufacturers have with plastics, such as Worcesters. Obviously we go to a lot of Worcesters that are leaking. But yeah, so that's the inside. We've got a Scrumfast pump as well in there, and it's a 1570 pump. I'm just going to temporarily just plug this in, just put some power onto it, and we'll have a look at the display. Obviously the boiler's not going to work, and it will come up with a fault code. So it's a nice looking display on there. At the moment it's coming up with low water pressure, so obviously we haven't put any water in this yet. The noise you can hear is the fan. We'll just have a look and see if we can see out in menu. Go into fault history there, just have a look. So we can see faults, low water pressure. So all the faults on it at the moment are low water pressure. As I say, it's not been piped in yet. So what I'll do is I'll pipe this in now, and then we'll have a play with this display. When we open the box, we've got a hardware pack, which is this box here. And when we look in the hardware pack, I've already removed the fixings out of this, but we've got some valves and fittings, and these connect onto the bottom of here. I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to temporarily connect them on, and I'll show you what they are as we go. So that's the gas valve, and it's yellow as that. It's in a bag. It's got the washer inside, nicely wrapped, so you can't really get it wrong, to be honest. Need to make sure your fibre washer goes in there, and then your copper pipe connects onto that. I know that the middle one is the gas on this. This is just by experience. Obviously I've fitted a lot of Ideal Logic boilers. Obviously you would check that, and you'd look in your manufacturer's instructions. So that's his flow. On the old Logics, the flow used to have the pressure gauge on the front of this. So again, you get your fibre washer, put your fibre washer in. And I always do boilers, I do them like this, connect them all up, and then we just need to tighten these on here. But obviously as we're going, I'm putting the fibre washers in. This is the return, and that's got a connection on there. Don't know if you can see there. Just open it up. And again, that's got your fibre washer, and that connects onto here. And again, you've got your copper tail that goes in there. Why this is different on there, that's going to connect the filling loop onto there. So this boiler comes with a built-in filling loop. So this pack here is as cold, this valve is cold. I'll just get a fibre washer. Just get a fibre washer again for that. And the cold connects onto there. Just before I connect that on there, if you have a look, it's got an arrow on there, and that shows you the flow of water. So when you're filling the boiler up, when you're topping the boiler up, that's the direction of the water. And again, these just connect on these tails underneath. And then we would tighten these up as well. In the same bag for the hot water, in the same bag with the cold water is the hot water one. So you get a pipe, and again you get a fibre washer. What you always find on gas appliances, bathrooms, all like that, what you'd normally find is your hot would always be on your left. And so how I work it with most of the big brands really, so Worcester, Wiesmann, most of the brands, Baxi, your flow would always be the left. So I work that, so that's the hottest, that's your hottest pipe flow. Hot water, so this is your hot water outlet, so that's going to go to your hot taps, so that's on your left. In the middle is the gas. The next one is the cold, and then this one here is the return. So if you imagine that's the colder water coming back from the central heating, so that's the return. And you would put your filter on the return pipe as well. In the kit we also get the filling loop. One side of it comes with a little valve on here. Just connect that onto the return valve. Obviously all these fittings we will tighten up. This then has a little copper piece, and this will connect onto here. Make sure you put it in right way around. It's also got like a little rubber washer. And again, I do all this when things are loose, so you can get it all in right place. And just tighten that up a bit. And that says filling loop on. When we're going to filter boiler, it doesn't have a valve on here anymore. So what you do is you turn this valve here. It's a bit stiff because it's new. So you turn that way, and that will allow the water to come into here, all the way around here, and to this valve here. And then as you open that side, it'll allow the water into the heating system. And then when you turn that back off, it'll stop. If you run your hot tap and you find no water's coming out, then there's a good chance that you haven't turned this back on. I'm just going to start to connect the pipes up now on here, and once I've done that, I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to connect it into my heating system that I've got in here. What I'm going to do is I've still got the template here, and I want to make these look nice on here, so I'm going to cut this template now in half on here. And then what I can do is, what I used to do quite a lot, just lift boiler up a little bit and just line your template up where it needs to go, or where it'd normally go, there. And you can see where all your pipes should be. And then obviously if you've got a level, you can just level down there and put some of your clips down here, and there's lines on here. So obviously put your level on. I'm going to get the laser level. I've got it over there, and I'll make sure these are level. And then I'll put some clips on here. And I'm going to pipe this up now. I'm going to do the return first on this, and as I say, the filter will go on the return. So I'm going to put some clips on here. Normally, when I were installing Logics in the past, I would tighten up the compression for the blow off with the boiler off, just because it's a little bit easier. And then when you put it back on the wall, before you put these valves on, you can just make it so the socket is dangling down a bit here, and then you can connect onto it a bit easier. So now I'm going to put this pipe in here. I've just built the filter up, so you just connect the valves onto there. I'm just going to mark this just so I can see where I want my clips to go. So if we say put that about there, and then we can put another clip just here, just so that it's fully supported is the filter. If you have a look at the filter, it says Ideal on it, and it says Ideal on it there as well. If I'm honest with you, actually, I know this sounds sad, but it actually feels a bit better than an Amiga filter, which I don't know how that is even possible when it's exactly the same. Maybe it's just because of colour, and I like brass, stainless steel and copper. So yeah, so I'm going to put some clips on here now. I'm not going to screw them right in, because then I can pull the cardboard back off after. I'll put the filter on now and into the clips. Just one thing to point out, there's an arrow on these, so you need to make sure that's on the right way round, and that would be on the return there. So that's the return, and that's going back into the bottom of the boiler. These connections here, I'm going to use press fit, so I'll show you how to do that as well shortly. I'm just going to connect this pipe now onto here, and I'm going to use press fit. This is for water, so the water ones have a black O-ring in. If any of you've seen the Ideal Vogue service that I did a few days ago, you'll see that these were on a system, and they've been on now for 4 years. And they've been around for around 50 years or so, and they're very, very proven. And in most places now, hospitals and stuff, in most places now, we're not allowed to use hot works, so these are brilliant for that. So what I'm going to do here, to get this machine in on that, it would be a little bit tight. So to make it easier, all I do is take the fitting off and press it off. When you get these machines, it shows you about, you push your pipe in, and then you mark, you mark your pipe on there, and just make sure, obviously make sure your fitting is fully in, and then press it. Now I can see that with this one, so I'm going to press this now. So this is the Hilti press gun. So all you need to do with that is push that in. If anybody's seen my videos before, you'll see. If anybody's seen my videos before, you'll know that it's just quick and easy. It's, a lot of people say, oh, it's like push fit, or it's DIY, or I don't like fittings, whatever. But to be quite honest with you, I got to loads of installs and pipes are horrendous, you know, that they're not even clipped or out. Customers aren't normally bothered what pipes look like, But the good thing with that is, when I pipe this on, and I put this on here, I've not put any muck into the system, I've not put any flux in, no solder. There's no really to go wrong with that at all. And it's just nice, quick and easy and clean. I've lost my olive somewhere. On the elbow, so that's the bit that connects into the back of the valve there. What you have the back nut, and then you have your olive that goes on there. And then once we've pushed that into the back of the boiler, we'll tighten this up, and we'll also tighten the connection up above there as well. So that just goes onto there. Yep. And then we can with this one we can pull the boiler off a little bit. It's nice and easy. Click that in. I know that's in there now, but what I can do is I can mark it with a pen there so that I know that it's not going to drop out. Pull it out, just make sure that it's still fully in, and then obviously just push it back in again. And then once it's done that, I can just put the machine on again. And press it. And we've got his little black mark on there, so we know that the fitting hasn't come out. We've checked when we did it that both O-rings were in, so we're not going to get any leaks. And I know 100% for sure when I fill this up, none of it will leak. It'll be really good. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I really do like press fit, and I think it's safer as well. No fire risk, no smoke alarms going off. So yeah, it's good. I'll do the rest of these now. I'm not going to put that on video because obviously you've seen it, and then we'll fill the boiler up and we'll test it and see what we think to it. So far, I've got to say that I'm quite impressed with it, and I actually really used to enjoy installing Ideal Logics. I've installed a lot of them, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm just going to cut into the video here just to show you that I'm doing the gas now, and just to make it clear with the gas, I'm going to press fit the gas onto here as well. On the gas ones, don't know if you can see in there, it's got a yellow O-ring, and on the gas fittings, very very faintly, don't know if you can see there, it says gas on them. So if you go to a job and it's got these fittings, don't you know, there's a good chance they've used gas fittings, so you might have to really look. They're not like stamped on with old that's going to stay there, so that sort of does wear off. But as I say, as long as you've got the yellow O-ring as you're installing them, you know that you've done them correctly, really. So I'm going to do this now, and then we'll come back to filling it up. All right, cheers. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to loop the flow and return together. So I'm just going to connect them together, and that'll allow me to fill it up. I'm going to use some push fit, speed fit elbows to do that, and I thought I might as well show you what they are. So if you're going to use push fit on any job or out, you have your fitting, get your pipe, make sure you've got a nice edge, and just push it in, obviously making sure it's gone in correctly. With speed fit, all you need to do is tighten that up, and that locks. I think you can also get like a connection that you put in there to stop, so you can't knock them off. I've never used them, to be honest, but if you have a look inside one of these fittings, it's got an O-ring there. It's also got that. And then I don't know if you can see in there, it's got like a grab ring in there. So I'm going to connect this on now underneath boiler. As I say, just temporary connect them together for now. I've connected the flow and the return together now, and that'll allow us to fill and top the boiler up underneath. I need to connect the hot and cold in now as well. If this was a customer's installation, then it may be that you need a scale reducer if it's in a hard water area. You will also definitely need a mini shock or a shock arrestor on here. To be quite honest with you, this video's cost me enough money, so I'm not going to put one of them on this, but yeah, it's looking alright so far. So I've connected all this up temporary now, so I'm just going to fill it up. So to fill it up, you turn the valve for the cold water facing the pipework that way, and then you turn that one facing the pipework as well, and as you do that, you'll see the pressure gauge on there going up. So normally in normal use we'd fill this up to one bar. I'm going to put it up to about 2 to start with. If we can get it to 2. See, depends what the standing pressure is here. And then we'll turn it on and we'll have a look and see if we get any fault codes. I'll just turn the power on this now. So when it turns on, it's saying Combi, natural gas, 24 kilowatt, showing us that the boiler is off. If we have a look on the control selector, we can see it's switched to the off position. If we wanted it on just on hot water, we'd put it onto there, so we'd switch it up to there, and then hot water and heating, we'd turn that to the hot water and we'd turn it to the heating there. At the moment I don't have no gas connected to this, but I just wanted to see the display on it. So if we click into this, click into menu, and just have a look what I've got in here. So we've got super efficiency level, service phone number, so I would imagine the installer can put their details in that. Change service time, so that's for you, obviously what it says. Fault history, fault help, vent system, so obviously when you install a new boiler you want to get all the air out of the system, so we'll do that shortly. Sensor readings, pump, fan valves, I'm not sure what that is, we can have a look at that. Maximum flow temperature, I would imagine that is just like a Vogue where you can turn that down. Minimum rate, so I would imagine if that's in service mode we click it onto that and we can put it into minimum rate. Maximum rate, so for servicing again we can put it into maximum rate, for that's for the domestic hot water. Maximum rate central heating, I don't know what the difference is with them, but again we can look at that on maybe on a different video. Pump modulation, outside sensor, freeway mid position, so that's showing you what position it's in. Oh, that's quite neat. Right, okay, so we'll go back to menu. It doesn't look like you can scroll backwards on it. Vent system, so we're going to vent this, and then what this does is it turns the pump on and off, and that helps to get the air out of the system. I've got to say I like this, it's really good. I mean that's going to take another 5 minutes, so we're not going to go through all that. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. What do I think to it overall? It's been a pleasure to install. It's, bearing in mind it's a mid-range boiler. The ideal boilers also have the Ideal Vogue, which is their top of the range boiler. The Vogue comes with a 12-year warranty. This boiler comes with a 10-year warranty out of the box, as long as it's max and you install a filter with it. Also, you'd have to have the boiler serviced to make sure that you kept up with the warranty. But if you had it installed and you had it installed well and you had it serviced every year, then you would have 10 years peace of mind. Ideal must have confidence in this boiler if they can put a 10-year warranty on it. All in all, I think it's good. I think it's really good. I'm going to do some other videos on the display, so we'll go through all the display. I'm going to connect the flue on, and I'm going to connect the gas to it, and I'm going to connect it onto a heating system. So I'm going to put a heating system on this wall. So I'm going to do a full 2-pipe heating system installation, and we'll connect it off this boiler. So yeah, I hope you found this video of some use. If you managed to get to the end of this video, please put some comments below. Thanks for watching.